Welcome to the Various and Numerous Podcast, episode 40. I'm your host, RL Bryer. Today's guest, Marvin Tong of Phala Network. But first, our sponsors, Flashcoin is a reinvention of Litecoin. Check them out at flashcoin.io. Short the banks. They have some of the best cryptocurrency and specifically Bitcoin clothing in the entire crypto space. Just got a really sweet new shirt from them. You may have seen me posting it on Twitter and a few other spots. A bank run t-shirt that I really enjoy, so check them out. I've got a couple pieces of clothing from Short the Banks. That's SHORTHE banks.com. And lastly, Cheesecake Swap is an AMM and yield farm aggregator. Go over there, check them out. Not financial advice, but you can get some nice yields on coins over there. Their native currency, a ton. You can stake your link on BSC and all sorts of other great pools that they have. As well as obviously the AMM. So go check them out, cheesecakeswap.com. And let's get into this episode with Marvin Tong. We talk about a ton of stuff in this episode: interoperability, the future of privacy, scaling these projects, and adding the privacy layer to public ledgers that aren't there with smart contracts and what they're working on. But they're blockchain agnostic protocol and launching on Polkadot. So have launched on Polkadot. So let's get into this episode and I hope you guys enjoy it. So please hit that like bell, subscribe, get in the comments, let us know what you think about this episode, what you want to hear, who you want to hear from in the future, if there's any projects you'd like us to cover or anything like that. But I appreciate Marvin Tong, co-founder and CEO of Phala, and let's do this. Welcome back to the Various and Numerous Podcast, episode 40 with Marvin Tong, co-founder and CEO of Phala. He's also the former senior product manager at Tencent and Didi. I'm interested in projects empowering human freedom, and I'm all about privacy projects in particular. So definitely honored to have you on the show today, sir. Welcome.
Hi guys, and nice to see you, Bryer, and thanks for the invitation. I'm very excited to be here, to share, to chat with you and to share opinions to the audience. And I think you're thanks for the intro. There's nothing like special for me. But I'm very proud of our team that we founded in 2018, and by then we saw that the decentralized applications. There are several DeFi's like MakerDAO and Uniswap by then, and we found something bigger. One thing we realized is that if we want to replace the current situation of internet, all your applications in iOS and Android into more bounded rules by smart contract. We need to find some way to make the data and information be a confidentiality. That's why we founded this company and Phala Network. So yeah. Just glad to be here. Yeah,
absolutely. It's a good brief introduction there. We'll definitely dig into that more. I always start like in the beginning of people's lives. I'm sort of interested. Were you always interested in technology? Were you a good student? Was this something that you figured you were probably going to go down a technology type path in your life?
The founders of Phala, like we all know each other during the high school, and my co-founder Hang Ying and Zhou, they are like the geek guys in high school, and they win many rewards in math and the technology. So that's how we met each other. And after we all graduate from college, and by then I work at Tencent and Hang Ying work in Google, and we found each other that we both very excited about the things happening in crypto and the blockchain world. So we are begin to think out, can we make a startup to support our own version about Web3? And yeah, just to mention, Hang is also the founder of Bitcoin Gold, but he he do it in his nickname instead of true name. But yeah, he just think the Bitcoin shouldn't the forks of Bitcoin shouldn't be controlled by a centralized manner. So he founded Bitcoin Gold so that to fight against with the ASIC algorithm so that people can't control it by mining pools. And yeah, so that's the story of him. But yeah, I'm here, so yeah, we can continue the chat.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to hear more about your collaborators in this. I love to hear about that. So when did you find cryptocurrency yourself? Was that something you found early on? Was it Bitcoin? Was it Ethereum? What sparked your interest?
Chinese guys are very fond of crypto in a long history. After Satoshi create Bitcoin, the mining market and mining business in China begin, and people are begin to get familiar with crypto. And I'm not saying that they are doing it by ideally, but the market heat always rise up in 2014, 2017. Look at the biggest exchanges in the world. Most of them are found in China. So the market here is have the fundamental of crypto. And for myself, of course, I've heard Bitcoin since 2017. But and with the hit of ICO, everybody will know that. But I personally didn't join because first. By then, I'm just a graduate student. I don't have any size of money to investment. But I'm personally as a production manager, I'm a guy who need to take charge for designing productions. I need to learn the how the technology goes. So I began to learn about Bitcoin and Ethereum. And as I said, in 2018, the prosper of decentralized application addressed me a lot. I mean, as a production manager, we always make some agreement with the users, like the user agreement written by a legal department. But the logic behind all applications is controlled by companies like Tencent and Didi. So we can change the rules, the game rules, and we can change the applications if we like. And if we don't think, this application is profitable, we can shut it down. So the user's data and size on the applications will lose. But decentralized applications and DeFi is totally different, right? Mm-hmm. It's written by smart contract, and the right who can decide, make decisions for this ad is controlled by user, the token holders. So that's a totally different, fresh new to me. And I'm addressed at that, and I begin to think, okay, I think the next generation of all applications and service will write in a smart contract rather than the guys behind the business. So yeah, that's how I jumped into the industry.
Very cool. I have a feeling that everything is going to be written in a smart contract eventually myself. So it's definitely important that people like you are working on the privacy side of it, because otherwise, I actually wrote about this in my books, is that eventually everything will be, everything is going to be public information otherwise. So with all the nature of blockchains and, the majority being, public ledgers, we need people that are working on these these privacy solutions. So I commend you on that, sir. So would you say, you and I spoke just for a few minutes before we got on here, and we're both Austrian School of Economics fans. I'm a crypto anarchist or anarcho-capitalist. I believe in the Austrian school a lot. When did you find out about the Austrian school?
Yeah. In my college, my major study is for like marketing and statics. But yeah, I have a school. I have a project that I need to learn about economic. That's how it starts. But Chinese uh, policy about economics is totally different from Western countries, which I don't want to share more here.
Right.
I mean, but yeah, but I think freedom, thoughts about some fundamental theory in Austrian school is very popular because yeah, there are some certain things uh, uh, I think it's just right. For example, the things for personal size and property can't be need to be controlled by the user himself, and everybody need to take responsibility for his own activity, not by some big garnered or big parents. So I think that just a fit my personal thought, and there's no such thing like crypto, can do theory and do and have like make the economic experts to have a trail their ideas, because no government will accept this theory like 100%.
Right.
They will always have present some specific uh, interest of some parties or some businessmen. So, but crypto is totally different. You can write your own theory-based crypto to have a try. Even UBI crazy ideas, you can try it. So and I believe that Bitcoin is like the perfect use case and sample for Austrian school. So that's it. Yeah.
Great explanation. I feel the same way. It's the only thing that I totally agree with you 100%. The only thing that I think that Bitcoin maximalists don't understand, and this is something that you're working on, is the privacy part of Bitcoin in particular. The ability to get like a tainted coin over time, like somebody does something with a coin that they shouldn't have done, and then a user gets it over time. So that's the only thing I feel like Bitcoin's lacking is fungibility. But other than that, I feel like it's like Austrian economics in motion. Like it's just perfect. It's symbiotic with the Austrian school. But I
Yeah.
had to get that. I had to ask you about that because it's super interesting. Um, so I went through your technical white paper, the 18-page white paper. Very interesting stuff. Could you just talk a little bit more about like the project in particular, like when it went from like the conception, the idea to getting to the point where we are now, like how much work did that take? How long did it take? I mean, you kind of mentioned 2018, I think, but like as far as like actually getting the team together and launching the token and all that stuff, what can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. The final version of final draw of in the paper you are looking at is that it, uh, I don't know how to describe it like 3 years ago, but in 2019 we found Polkadot and Web3 Foundation. I know Gavin Wood. He's a very famous, like he is a CTO of Ethereum, but we don't know him. Like we don't know Polkadot very well back then. But after reading his blog, describing how Web3 should work, we know that okay, that's the thing we think of. That's the trend we think will happen in the future. I mean, we all know that data is very very important aside to to person. When it's combined with some theory in economic, it means the tools that you can make a production, the tools you can create value, which is controlled by capital members, for now. But like Google or Facebook, and you are donating this data for free. I mean, you're just using their, freaking ads, but you are donating your most valuable data. Maybe it's valuable, not valuable for yourself, but it's valuable to in the market. So that's one idea about Web3, that the personal data should be controlled by the person himself, not by anyone else. And secondly is that the agreement with user and to the companies or to the service, to the applications. Before that, the Silicon Valley is the most cool people in the world. I mean, I don't know if you are watch the show called Silicon Valley.
I love that show. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. That's why I jumped into the internet business. But after I actually working in that, I found no, that's not how the things work. Everybody have a dream, but in this industry, you are like, first priority is that you're making more profit based on users' data for your boss. I mean, you can change the rules, you can change everything, only if it can make more profit. So I think the agreement, the contract between user and the service is quite important, and only smart contract can make sure of that. So these ideas are improved by Ethereum applications, but we also find unfortunately for truth, which is that as a trade of trustless and state consensus, you need to make the data transparent. Each node running the same client, so that no one can be evil. But in real world, I mean, there's no applications public or user sensitive data, right? So we need to find some way that make sure first people can control their data, and they can run smart contracts to give you all the entertainment and tools, applications, and in the meanwhile, everybody's data, sensitive data, is well controlled. So I think there's some lack of third solution in the world by then. So we think we are begin to finding solutions on that. We learned for technology, we learned even Wimbo and MPC and TE, and we think TE will be the first batch that could be real use in the industry. So yeah, that's how the story works.
Very cool. Does what I mean, you mentioned Gavin Wood a little bit, and reading his blog, and that kind of led you to Web 3 3.0. What exactly was the reasoning for choosing Polkadot? What can you tell us how you came to this? Was it sort of like, he led you to the light, or how do you make that determination?
Yeah, that's a very interesting topic. So we choose Polkadot based on like three major reasons. First, we know what we want to build. We want to build fundamental infrastructure to run in such applications in a privacy environment. And after we design how it works, we found the majorly decentralized system will be deployed or using off-chain, not on-chain. So, but we still need a blockchain to control all the off-chain workers, the off-chain servers, to give the computation. So, and development of blockchain is a lot of work. I mean, you need to design the consensus module. You need to design the balance, the transactions on chain, and you need to garners many things you need to development. So is there any easy to go tool for us just to build up a chain and let us just focus our energy into the off-chain system? Yeah, that's what Polkadot provide, which is called Substrate, and it's a framework for blockchain developers, which is very easy to go, and safety is written by Rust. And there are plenty of modules, standards, pilots being written down. And you can just, if you don't have so many customized requirements, you can just use it. So it saves us a lot of time on chain. So that's the first reason. Second reason would be, the you can use Substrate, but you can build your own chain, and you can be isolated with each others. But the benefit with Polkadot or Kusama is that if you got a slot, you can share the security guaranteed by its religion. I mean, it's a bull market now. Lots of projects haven't realized it yet, but when it comes to a bear market, the tokens will, shake down, and by this situation, the security level of your project will going lower and lower. But if you got a slot from Kusama and Polkadot, the security will be guaranteed by religion. That's a very unique design, and it's not related to your own token value. And in the meanwhile, of course, cross-chain passing, everybody knows that. It means that different chains can communicate with each other, like how a smart contract works on Ethereum. You can come possibility together to create something maybe we can't imagine today. That's the second reason. The third reason is very easy to say that Web3 Foundation give a very good grant program to startups, which means it's not a lot of money, but if you have a great idea and you can deliver the idea in a very short time, Web3 Foundation grant program will give you like 30K around the amount of sponsorship with no payback. We try to apply to or talk with some projects back to 2018. Some, you can't believe this shit. Some projects even ask us for our business plan or how they can get return from our token, something like this. I don't think that's a good idea, but Web3 Foundation is doing it very decently, and we can just build the things we are interested in. So these three reasons why we choose Polkadot.
Shout out to Web3 Foundation for helping you guys launch. Definitely. Yeah. So you mentioned Mimblewimble a little bit. I'm interested in Mimblewimble. I think it's very interesting technology. Can Phala communicate with first gen like Monero or other say a Mimblewimble protocol? Can it communicate with something like that?
Yeah, sure. We all know that private coins is not it's something else compared with Phala. We have different targets. So the technology is also very different, but we need to, our team keep on learning different things at the same time, because I think I personally am a fan of green, and we talked with some developer for green in China before, and by then many Mimblewimble coins need to keep online to communicate with animals, and that will cause some trouble, for the user end. Which when I want to transfer to you, I need to wake you up and hey, let's transfer. So we by then we have some several ideas. For example, we can actually put a green communication client into a TE. so that the client will keep online and address is anonymous. And in this environment, because of TE provide hardware level insurance for privacy protection, so that you can have confidence about how the client works, and the address is anonymous. So yeah, we have several ideas like this. Of course, we can build bridges between Minom and bring such privacy points. But yeah, and Polkadot, on Polkadot for now, there are several teams building bridges to BTC and other major blockchains. So that's why we will like present a tool for developers to build their own bridges to just the long tail chains they are very interested in. I mean, there's no one built a doggy chain for now, no bridge for Polkadot for now. It will take some time, but using our light solution with Phala TE, that people can easily build their own bridges. I think that would be very interesting. Very interesting.
So what you're saying is it would basically like store the data in that in TE, the trusted execution environment, basically, and you could execute these Mimblewimble sort of transactions or whatever without having to be online, because it's basically in an encrypted in the CPU. Is that how that would work? And then your smart contract would execute that somehow?
Yeah, I mean, let me put this way. This is a centralized gateway which exchanges are using. And this is the totally decentralized bridge between different blockchains, which means they need game theory based smart contracts in both chains. And what I just mentioned is that we can provide a middle level comprised version of bridges, which they will have. You don't need to have like dozens of nodes verifying different deposit events, and in the meanwhile, you can easily build it up. And it's not centralized because you can't change the confidential smart contracts inside TE, so that you can trust it in hardware security based.
That's super cool. I'm excited to see that in action. Definitely that can change the world for sure in a big way. Can you talk more about interoperability and how you maintain interoperability and privacy at the same time? I mean, is that more along the lines of what we were just talking about with TE, or what else can you say about that?
Yeah, I mean, I after doing research of all privacy preserving technology, we found out one fact that there's always be trade-off. You can't use one technology to rule the world. For example, ZK knowledge is perfect and trusted in mass, but in the meanwhile, you can't share to the third party of the process data, or you can't share the data to anyone else. And for example, MPC, which is a technology, also will be proved in mass, and they can share the data to third party in safety environment. But in the meanwhile, they are game theory based, which means they could be attacked easily based on your token value. And they are also not easy to scale up because they have very, very high cost in computation performance. You need to design a specific algorithm for the computation formula. So TE is very good at like running generalized computation programs inside a black box. And so that's a very good technology for data join and data calculation use cases. But in the meanwhile, many people doesn't trust the hardware solutions, although they are using a hardware wallet every day. But I know that it's not trusted in a mass level. So there's always the trade-off. I mean, for us, we choose TE because we think it's much more better than the people are using like Google Cloud, Amazon Cloud for running nodes, every day and running their programs. So our idea would be, why can't we like replace the older, like centralized servers, centralized cloud platform into a permissionless, trustless, and decentralized cloud. So the way you can do that, you need to like make permissionless for server supply. I mean, all servers are in a Google data center on Google Cloud, so does other cloud platform. So if you want to build such a permissionless cloud platform, you need to allow people to, donating their servers in their house to your network. And you need to control it well in prosper way, because if some client running his program in this server and the server owner just plug out and cut down the electric, then it's damned. So in this case, you need to make certain rules that which activities will be rewarded, which activities will be punished, and in the meanwhile, you need to keep the data just can't be evil. I mean, in Google data center, you are very confident to deploy your program into a Google Cloud because you trust that Google just won't leak your data to anyone else, which could happen actually. But when you're using some server from anyone's house, you can't just believe them not doing it, because anyone could put your client's data, sensitive data out and sell it on the market. So how can we make sure that not happen? TE is a perfect solution for that. I mean, even the owner of the CPU himself wants to get it out. He will try like hard as hell, and he can just get some pieces of the data, not the whole data. And combined with your like punishment rules in the token economy, I think that thing will work. So we think Phala will be maybe the first batch of permissionless cloud platform in the world in this case, and privacy preserving is necessarily thing of it. That's my view.
Yeah, great explanation. I'm actually reading a book about this right now about life after Google. Have you read this by George Gilder? It's very good. He talks about how people just sort of believe that that the Google Cloud is just something that it actually is a cloud. They don't even really think. They don't even put it together that there's these big data mining centers built, these huge data mining centers around the world. And it's just funny that people don't, a lot of people take their privacy for granted today. They don't really even understand that, basically everything on the internet is being monitored to some extent. So, it's definitely super important to me that these sort of things are being worked on. And otherwise, I mean, you could just, you could get into these philosophical things, but I think we all know that, without some level of privacy and, you have freedom is basically dead. So
it's already dead, for now.
Yeah, we're going to try to bring it back. That's our goal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. What is, can you tell us about P Libra?
That's that's a demo case for us. We applied this in 2019 Q2. By then, Libra from Facebook just announced their plan in using their I mean, all of their production to support a stable coin called Libra, and it's a kind of centralized thing. And because the reputation, of Facebook in privacy, we think it's a pretty good idea, to first we want to make free the Libra user into a permissionless blockchain world, which needs a bridge between Libra chain to public chain. And secondly, we think when they come into public chain, we need to give some at least we need to give them some data privacy protection shield, so that I mean, so this is the ideas, and I think we think it's a good way to prove ourselves that Phala can provide such use cases, bridge, light client bridge, as I mentioned, and privacy preserving a site that will be minted by Libra and Phala and then we can bring it to a put out world. So that's a very rough idea, but when we are still working on that. A couple of weeks ago, we just finished the bridge contract, and we deliver it to Web3 Foundation, which are already been passed. So I mean, after, Diem, they call it Diem for now. I mean, Diem suddenly have some activities in this year in development. So we assume that they will release it at Q4. Although it can't, I don't expect it as big as maybe other stable coin, but the user base is huge. So we think it might help these people, to join in the crypto world, the true crypto world, not a fake web.
Yeah, I agree. There's going to be a lot of people that come along and try to convince you, whether it's the CBDC, central bank digital currencies, or corporations that are going to try to convince you that they have a cryptocurrency.
Yeah, cryptocurrency.
But we know that they won't be cryptocurrencies at all. They'll be centralized and completely the opposite.
And they can be traced, of course.
At 100%. What can you tell us a little? I have 4 or 5 more questions here. I appreciate your time. What can you tell us a little bit about the tokenomics and merging from an ERC20 to your own network here eventually?
Yeah, our tokenomic is a very thank you for the question. I mean, our token economic is designed by some experienced for me in Didi, which is a Chinese version of Uber. As I mentioned, if we imagine that Phala is a permissionless cloud, right? We need the supply end and we need demand end, but every new thing in the very beginning, the demand end is very weak, and but if you just use a very free market, and not free market, sorry, it's just the nature market, how the nature market goes, it will cause that the supply end is not happy, and the demand, because the supply is so weak that there's even only one person want to use Uber, and they found that they need to wait 40 minutes in New York to get one car. Then he's upset. He will never use Uber again. So the strategy to to run this kinds of thing is we need to give some rewards even when the demand end is weak. So that's why we choose to distributing our token, like 70% of Phala token to the miners, which means that in the very first beginning, we already have a very huge cloud server pool, which our team didn't pay anything for that. It's token rewarded, but it will provide a very distributed node situation in the world, so that any developer in any country can connect it using a Phala node to connect with his consumers high performance. And the consumer feel good, developer feel good, they will keep trying use Web3 cloud instead of Web2 cloud. So what we want to get is not as near as the performance to Web2 cloud like GCP or AWS. So so that's the key of token economy. We donate like 70% using like a subsidy for the TE server workers, and of course we need fundraising. I mean, I know how green team works. They just accept a donation, which is a masterpiece. But building a cloud is actually not as easy as building a chain or building a crypto. It needs like hundreds of engineers working. So we are using 15% of the token for fundraising, which get us like around $1 million to run into this situation. So yes, so that's the very basic of this tokenomics. And a very interesting part would be we will update and announce some new game theory-based tokenomics for Phala in the coming weeks, which is designed and written by Dr. Constantine, who is in France, Toulouse College in economics, and he used some brand new economic theory to help improve and promote our supply end and demand end solution. So that would be I saw that. I think it's very simple and easy to go. And in the meanwhile, I never seen such thing in crypto. It's very exciting. And yeah, just follow us and we will publish it very soon. And I hope this will show a good sample to the, maybe we will fail, but we hope it will show a good sample for the new startup who want to build a Web3 cloud or any Web3 Uber, Web3 Airbnb in the future, that using these kinds of theory, you can use your token to connect it with supply and demand, and just don't follow the centralized company steps. I mean,
yeah, that's definitely the future. Some sort of incentive-based thing like that. 100%. Is that some alpha you just dropped on the show, or has that upcoming paper already been? Have you already been talking about that?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's the first time I mentioned it.
All right, breaking news here. I love it. I love to break some news, so I'll put that out. Awesome. So can you talk a little bit more about your roadmap for the rest of this year?
Cool. First, we already developed Phala network for about over 1 year, and our code base is already well prepared, but we need to get a slot to launch our chain. So the first priority, for the next coming weeks and months would be we need to launch our canary network, which is called Kala, on the Kusama network first. And then we can have confidence to launch our mainnet Phala on Polkadot. So slot auction would be a big campaign and milestone for us. And after we launch, we will make a proposal based on the new economic design to the miners. And our expecting is that we got over 10K and even over 20K servers on Phala network, which can totally compare with the big data center of the centralized cloud. And we will also release a version of Wasm confidential smart contract who can run inside TE. We call it confidential smart contract. And we can begin to deliver some interesting privacy preserving applications, such as swipes which can keep the confidentiality. I mean, if some whales want to sell some, a big bags, they can't do it on Uniswap because everybody will know that. And the thing you can do is that you using Phala Swap to transfer these assets to another hand. I think it will replace OTC in the future. So I will call it like smart contract OTC. It's very interesting. And we will also release a lending protocol which in a confidential environment, because like leverage position of each person is very, very sensitive data. But on lending and AVE, everybody giving it to your enemies. I mean, so, and don't forget MEV. MEV is very terrified. So we think confidentiality environment can provide a safer environment for the traders. And and of course, we will also deliver some mystery NFT box with a true BTC inside. Every so-called NFT mystery box now is just a random seed. I mean, you make payment, and they will based on random algorithm to send you some cards. That's it. That's a mystery box for now. But what we want to do is that we can put mystery and like confidential data inside NFT, and when you're purchasing the NFT, you can open it only for yourself. You know what's inside, and you don't need to tell anyone else on chain. And you can close it and pass it to another one. That's a very cool idea. I think that will be the future of data trading. So it's like a black box for everyone. So yeah, that's the three major production for us.
Sorry to cut you off. I didn't mean to. Basically, sort of like hiding data in an NFT. Is that what you're saying? So
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, that's super. Yeah. That's a super interesting use case as well. Like being able to share data, like just in a non-fungible way. That's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool. So basically, since you're blockchain agnostic, you could do that across chains with Ethereum or some other platform, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, so I think that I only have one more here for you. I appreciate took you through the gauntlet here of questions. You've been a real warrior. I appreciate your time. Like I said, last question, I always ask everyone what Bitcoin means to them when they come on the show the first time, and and also since you have your own project, I want to know what Phala means to you. So, what Bitcoin means to you, and what Phala means to you.
Okay, what Bitcoin means to me is that all my hard working, and if I got any asset, I will put a certain number transfer into BTC. So that's what where my salary goes, just the BTC. That's I hope that can keep me warm and have food to eat even after I lose the ability to work. So I think that's the ticket for everybody's future. And of course, I can imagine maybe after 10 years, 20 years, the technology in biologic and in spaceship will be highly improvement. And by then, let's imagine there's a spaceship can travel to Mars. What will be the ticket charged in? I think it will be charged in BTC. So just save yourself for some BTC, okay? For yourself, for the future. And the second thing would be the second question would be what Phala means to me. Mm-hmm. I think I'm 30 years old, and I think Phala, all my career, like all the knowledge, the experience, and the energy, when I'm still young, are put into Phala to provide something that no one sees that before. I want to look at the VC faces which are still putting money in centralized business, And after we beat them in a Web3 way, there are many guys in financial and investment area. They despise crypto. They think it's something scammy, but and only for the crazy ones. I mean, but what I truly believe in is that there in the future there will be no Google such a whale, with hundreds of billions dollars market cap, but the world will be created by hundreds of 1 billion projects and companies. And these hundreds of projects can link with each other, and the face are in the same page. So that's what Phala means to me. It can't be as big as Google to control everything. But what I hope is that when people want to use cloud, they will think, oh, look at Phala. How can we using Google like 20 years ago, 10 years ago? I can't imagine that the data need to be storage in some companies' data center. That's too dangerous. I think I want to build something like this.
Oh man, Marvin, it's been great to talk to you because I think we share a lot of the same passions, and I love to hear what you're working on, and I hope we can do it again sometime. I definitely learned a lot about your project. So,
yeah. Thank you, Ben. Thank you for the invitation again. Appreciate it, and really nice talk with you. Good questions, though.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Next time we'll dig more maybe into Austrian economics and get an update on what you're doing with the project. But hang on one second, I'll say a proper goodbye.
Okay.